Hello gardening fans and welcome to Marvin Gardens October 2022. It is a beautiful late October day, very late October. It's actually October 30th, what we used to call Mischief Night. Tomorrow's Halloween, and we are probably at peak as far as leaf color goes, and leaves are starting to fall around here, as you'll probably see. And we still got stuff going on in the garden here, so let's get started. I'm gonna start you off over here at where we usually kind of start, which looks like kind of a mess right now, but those are lots of pond irises, and as you can see, the garlic chives or Asian leeks are holding their own quite well, and expanding maybe, and we're not quite to the seed stage here, but oh well, we are on this one. Right there you can see all the seeds in there, which I have not yet managed to plant around anywhere, but well, let's there's what a fall hammock looks like, right? I still haven't got out there and laid down in it, but we have a warm spell coming up, so things might lend themselves to me actually getting in the hammock one of these days. Cassie, in the meanwhile, meantime, is she's got her pumpkin jack-o'-lantern scarfie on, as does Frankie boy. He's over here. Hi, Frankie. Good boy. So they're looking, all looking the part for Halloween, and later on next month we'll do the turkey scarfies, and of course the lovely French ballerina is taking care of some fall mowing, and looking quite stylish even as she does. But we'll come over here to well, we'll start with the mini barn, because the nasturtiums are doing so well still. At one point I was neglecting to water them properly, but they've come right around, and even though it's the end of October, we have not had a real killing frost yet at all. So the nasturtiums are still doing great. This is a healthy row of, or two rows of carrots, and some of them are, I'm sure, ready to be harvested. There's some that I don't think were really properly thinned, so those are also due. But they're looking just fine, and of course they don't care about the cold weather anyway. These two rows are the daikon radishes and turnips, and let me show you a quick video of, because it doesn't look like I've harvested much, but I have harvested quite a few. Let me show you a quick video of that. Alright, so this is just an iPhone video, but I wanted to just real quick give you an idea of what these daikon radishes look like before I harvest them here. They've grown to the size that they promised to grow to, and I'm just about to pull them all. I thought it would be nice to give you a glance at them. And also right next door is a equally impressive stand of turnips, if I can get aimed that way. There you can see them. Just nice sized turnips, also just about to be harvested. And so that's the way they were looking before I harvested them, and I think I have a still of the basket of good ones. And let me show you this down here. You can see we've got some sizable radishes and turnips as well, if I can get down in there and show you. So those will be ready to go shortly. While we're back here, I'll show you the herb garden proper. There ain't no basil anymore, but rosemary's going fine. And this was a volunteer dill that came up that I just had to stake up a little bit, but it's doing fine. I don't know that we'll use it for anything, but and then again, Asian leeks, garlic chives, kind of looking the same as they do over on the other side, except for I've kind of bundled these together because they were falling all over the place. And we have a very nice sage plant here, and I did bring sage, rosemary, and thyme potted into the house. I think I have a still of that to show you. So we'll see how those do inside. Now, I did plant some peppermint down here, but it seems to be very slow coming. I think it's coming, but it's extremely slow, so we'll see how that goes. And then the vacancies here are some of the herbs that I pulled, but even the creeping thyme, I still have quite a bit left here. So that's what's going on with the herbs. Now, these kaleets, I'm still hoping that maybe we'll get something harvestable, but I have not seen anything that looks like what I was expecting, which was kind of little cabbagey sort of clusters of kaleets, because they're supposed to be a cross between Brussels sprouts and kale. But I got some leaves, but I don't really have balls of stuff. So I don't know. I haven't given up hope because they're very frost tolerant, so they're not going to be bothered by any cold weather. Then we got our storage number 4 cabbage, all of which look rather small this year, but we have harvested a few and made some great pickled cabbage garden veggie slaw, which I was very happy with the way that turned out. These guys I'm in no hurry to pull in because they also don't care about the cold weather or the frost or anything like that. And that brings us to Brussels sprouts. Now, you might see some Brussels sprouts there that look okay and are probably harvestable, but let me tell you what, they do not compare to the Brussels sprouts that my sister Mary was growing in Vermont. They were monsters and are coming in like crazy for her. Sometimes I have good luck with them, sometimes I don't, but they're at least doing okay, as opposed to the tomatoes here, which are pretty much done for. And you remember the cucumbers are long since gone. So off we go here to the compost heap, which is not anything you want to look at. And that brings us to the pumpkin grow house, and you might see a lack of pumpkins because I've harvested all the ones that were orange and ready to go. We lost one right towards the back there, but you might see a yellow one peeking through there, and then there's another yellow one right about there. So I'm leaving those guys on the vine in case they ripen and turn orange. The vines themselves are looking a little bit like past their time, but that's partially because I neglected to water them. It's just crazy that they're still going at this point, because usually you harvest your pumpkins in September, and these guys stayed until Halloween. I just harvested the last of the ready ones today. The okra isn't doing anything except for staying alive right now, but we're not getting any okra out of them. That's a little ground cherry plant, which amazingly enough is producing some. And right over there is the volunteer ground cherry that is all done for. Now we still got a little bit of bachelor's buttons that, since they were still alive, I didn't have the heart to take them out. All the dead ones I did take out. And look at the borage. The borage is acting like it's midsummer. Just blooming like crazy. Nice little blue flowers, and I'm sure they'll go with the first killing frost. But Frankie is stealing green tomatoes out of the harvest basket. I don't think you're going to like the green ones, boy. He keeps trying them, though. And then these are more of the different varieties of the daikon radishes. And let me see if I can get down here, because you can see, yeah, you can see there. They're starting to come in. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to get a good crop of those. Those shouldn't be bothered by the cold weather, but I don't know if we'll, get them to get big before, the hard freeze weather sets in, which I would think would slow them down quite a bit. Now, we have had some frosts, but we have not had really a killing frost, because the peppers are still doing fine. Now, we've pulled a lot of the peppers because in anticipation of getting the frost, excuse me. But as you can see, the plants are doing just fine, and we've got a lot of small green peppers on all the plants, really. And we're supposed to get warm weather for the next couple of weeks, so we may get some more peppers out of this season. We're not getting any more sunflowers, so that's for sure. Now, straw flowers, Vanina has been harvesting regularly. I can't see any blooming right now, but they're still growing strong. And look at the calendula. Not bad for October 30th. We did pull any of the eggplant that were of any size whatsoever, and they were good. We actually still do have a little one right there, but it's not going to amount to anything. Even without the frost, we're not going to see anything happen there. Now, that brings us to what was the corn bed, and like I had promised before, I wanted to take my pumpkin harvest and have the classic pumpkins in front of the corn stalks photo, and this comes as close to that as I possibly could ask for. And Vanina brought the mums out here just to make it a complete fall harvest picture. So we got lots of nice Cinderella type pumpkins, which I think are going to make very nice pumpkin pies. We won't be carving them, though. That's not what they're for, really. And this is what Frankie was stealing from, because at this point all we're getting is green tomatoes out of that sad remnants of what was a pretty good tomato season for us. Now, the frosts that we had were enough to kill off the last summer squash plant. That was a yellow summer squash. But I gotta say, it lasted all summer, and that's pretty darn good. All right, so you can see tomato cages, a little bit of green in some of the tomato plants, but we're done for here. Amazingly enough, we got green beans that are actually still blooming, although some of them are done for. It looks like the red noodles are totally done for, but these regular green ones, green beans, are still threatening to bloom. Oh, and there's a little bean right there. If I can get it into focus. Not really, but anyway, you can see it. So we'll get a couple of beans out of there. And then there's one of those yellow pumpkins that we might get to turn orange, and right next to it is the one that we lost. It's just squished and rotting. And Frankie's taking advantage of the fact that the screen doors are all ripped up, so he can go in there and take a look around. Right, boy? See any pumpkins you like? You're not really fond of pumpkins. All right, so that brings us to, well, the Sky Manor Marsh, and we ended up with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 official cattails, and that's the best shot I can get without getting the glare of the sun in the picture. And I guess we won't bother to go out to the asparagus patch, although we did finally go out there and pull all the weeds that were almost as big as the asparagus plants. And now it's just, letting them finish through their life cycle until we get the killing frost that takes care of them. I might have some drone footage, and you might see that there's a non-asparagus plant in there someplace. What that is a volunteer ground cherry, which was doing pretty well out there, and I just left it, and I just have to remember to go out there and pull a few of them so we can enjoy them. The fire pit area, although we haven't even got the umbrella open, is looking fine. We're due to come out here, as we were last month, to have a fire pit, but we'll get to it. And like I say, we've got nice weather, warmer than average weather, coming up in the next 10 days. So, and you can tell what season we're in from the way that the lawn looks here. There are leaves all over the place. And let's see if I can get through here. No, you stay here. You stay here. I'm going to keep them in the garden. And the pond is looking okay. I've taken the fish feeder out because our run koi is already acting like it's winter. He stopped eating pretty much, and he's just going to take it easy for the next few months. And you can see that the frost hasn't killed off all the plants, but they're looking beyond peak, at least, except for this lovely ornamental grass of Vaninas, which is doing quite nicely. Those whatever those are, the blooms effectively look really nice, and she's got them all over the place. I have not tossed all these water hyacinths into the the into the compost heap, although that's where they're destined for because they're done blooming. And not much else to show you around here except for the fact that, well, let's go over here, see if I can, you can see that is a tomato plant that I just added in that hanging planter, and it kind of grows like an upside down tomato plant. It just trails down, but since we haven't had a killing frost, it's still going, and you know, we don't get a whole lot of tomatoes off of it, but we're still pulling some off. And the same thing with a few of these along the back deck as well. Getting a few more tomatoes out of this guy that's potted on the deck, and well, I don't think we're getting any more out of that guy. But you may remember that the pool was still up last time, and it is no longer up, and we have planted grass that is coming up to fill in the circle of dirt that's left behind when you take the pool down. It's nice to get a head start on that in fall, and that way you get a nice lawn. Nothing much going on here at the picnic table except for lots of leaves falling down. As you can probably see, the sun is getting quite low, as expected at this time of day in the garden. So here's my buddies, Frankie and Cassie, following me around. They always like to come out to the garden, and they like to follow me around the garden. Let's see, I think that's pretty much all that all that we got happening here. Oops, that's not right. Let's do this and do that. So, in a very calm and relatively warm October 30th, I will say that that's going to do it for us here and Marvin Gardens, October 2022. Oh, I'll just quickly show you zinnias, most of which are long done for, but we still got a bloom or two happening, so that's not bad. And so anyway, like I said, that's gonna do it. This is let's focus right there on that guy. No, let's focus this way on this guy. Okay. And that's going to do it. Marvin Gardens, October 2022. I hope you guys are having a great fall. We're just about to kick off the holiday season, which is always fun to look forward to. And that's what we're doing around here. So we'll see you next time in November, probably around turkey time. But that's going to do it. We'll catch you next time. Marvin Gardens, October 2022. Bye, yous all.
you